So here's another story because obviously my life story's 100% in play, and my mom and all my entire childhood. The entire story is the Keystone Pipeline, as to exactly what our future. And you got to watch all my videos to really understand all this. I just ate some spaghetti, so my lips are kind of red. But I'm not wearing lipstick, is what I was getting at. So, when I was a kid, I've already explained the story about how I was really good with computers, and all of the teachers used to get me out of class when I was in primary school because we had just got computers for the very first time, and I was the only one that knew how to use them. So I was helping the teachers all day in school with the computers. True story. So here's another true story, and it just occurred to me because my mom always asked me like every little detailed question: where are you going? What you going to get? Who you going to talk to? What this, that, and that? And I asked her, I said, "Who do you work for, Mom? The NSA or something?" So this is another true story. Not only was I a computer geek when I was a kid, but I also had CBs, and I would play with them and amp them up, and the linear, you hook the linear up to it, and you try to get you where everybody could hear you as far away as possible. So I was a CB nerd, right? And I'd talk to the truck drivers and shit all day and mess with them from home. I'd mess with the police department all the time too. I'd have them running around looking for the guy that had the CB. I'd be changing my output on it, so they'd think, "Oh, I'm right here by him. I'm somewhere over here by him." And I'd change it and I'd turn it down. It's like, he faded off. He must be moving. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. It was pretty funny. So the other thing that we used to do is I had a scanner. And back in the day, I believe it was from the 40 megahertz to 49 megahertz range was the cordless cell phones. And the cellular phones ran from, this was before they truncated them and they just constantly changed, or however that works. Uh, like I said, I knew more about this when I was a kid than I do now. But in my neighborhood, my mom and I would have the scanner, and we always listened to the scanner. Would listen to the police and things like that. But you could listen to the 40 to 49 megahertz cellular cordless phones in the neighborhood, and you could hear everybody's conversation in the entire neighborhood. That's why I was asking my mom if she was the NSA earlier or something. And like I said, if you'll go back to that other video where I made and the pink cross was in the sky and then 911, you see how all this plays in here? So like my entire life story is in play. Buck and Adeline in my backyard, Mandy Mason, Langley next, all of it. Okay, I don't want to go over every video, but when I was a kid, we used to listen to all the neighbors' phone calls with a police scanner, and you can't really do that anymore, I don't think. Like I said, they truncated it. But we'd also listen to people's cellular phone calls on the 800 to 900 megahertz frequency, whatever the cellular phone frequency was. So I spent a lot of time listening to people's phone calls on police scanners and things of that nature. And I thought I'd just share that story right now because, like I said, even the computers, I got my mom the job at the school eventually because I was so good with the computers. I taught her what I was doing at school. I came home and showed her what I was doing, and so she ended up getting the job at the school where I helped all the teachers with the computers. And it's kind of odd. I mean, you got to see the parallels here and everything. And I've been sending all of this to Alex, who's putting all of this together for me. And I swear to Jesus Christ, this is another true story. I was a big radio nerd that listened to everybody's phone calls and things of that nature. I was a kid, their NSA, kind of like what the NSA does these days. And they're here. I mean, they got technology that hacks your mind like the CIA does, okay? Everybody in this country is being remote neural monitored. Okay, your minds are hacked. They can literally read your thoughts, and then they can get around the Freedom of Information Act and give Google DeepMind, or that would be the NSA, or the CIA gave Alexa $600 million. They both gave $600 million to these quantum AI computers like Alexa and DeepMind, so that now that you have a remote neural monitored mind, well, they can reverse and they can actually put information into your head, like they did me after they trauma-based mind controlled me and all of that. Of course, I had that extraterrestrial, goes all the way back from the day that I was born. Even whenever I was born, I've talked about my mom's middle name is Lawan, or the one, and the doctor that delivered me was Who's Sane. Kind of like after ET called the police on 911, 911, 911, and then we went over to Sad Am Who's Sane, and we took out IRAQ. Yeah, that was all symbolism, okay? IRAQ would be quantum technology that's hacking people's minds. Sad am who's sane. I'm sane. I'm explaining all of this because my life story was developed by extraterrestrial entities in order for it to all Iran Contra, Iran Con translate. So all the underlying con translate was in their CIA to absolutely bury y'all when I translated all of it, and anybody else that's in the mind hacking business, and that's what's been taking place. And the armies, the people in the army that count, like Sergeant Major Grinston, I think their heads popped out of their ass, and you're going to have a mutiny on the bounty, like President Trump was talking about the other day. Put that little bug in all the troops' ears. Yeah, so that the U.S. Army can actually raise a mutiny here and kill all you assholes who are hacking their children's minds with artificial intelligence in order to depopulate them eventually, is what they're going to do to your children, their troops. So y'all didn't really hash all that out, did y'all? And that's good. That's why that check and balance was put in there by E.T. It's the fourth beast, comes in and separates the evil people from the holy people. And y'all took the bait. And all of you people that got on board with E.T.'s plan, because E.T. put the freaking plan in your head, okay? Some of you were wise enough to play this out to E.T.'s liking. Those would be the ones that live. Those would be the hook. Check out the hook while the DJ revolves it. Lockstep and the Rockefellers, I think, are part of that hook, okay? Because they knew that this big tech takeover was coming, and all the big oil money, like Rockefeller and all that, was involved in setting up the media, right? Setting up big tech, setting up the CIA, setting all these people up who took the wrong path. And I'm not saying that the Rockefellers are angels or anything, but from what I can tell at this very point in time, seeing how I have Spanish Jewish heritage, just like the Rockefellers, and I'm related to the Rockefellers, I'm pretty sure you all got played like a fiddle by the mummy. Hey, before I finish this, there's one thing I want to say. Don't fuck with Spanish Jews, okay? That was a really bad idea.